Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Busy day. At least it's sunny today and it's not raining again. So that's one good thing. But they got me running around between different pharmacies trying to get my asthma meds. And, I don't take very many meds. Back in the day, I used to do all vegan, straight vegan too, not like vegetarian. And then no meds. But one thing you have to figure out too, this is before COVID, and I had tried to go straight vegan, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do another big chop because for those of you who don't know, I used to have locks back in the day when I first went natural. This is, gosh, 2000 and I don't know, 10. I cut it all off. I've had 2 big chops, which is cutting off all your hair, since then, and I've had locks. And then I cut my locks because they started to become so heavy they were hurting my neck, and I would have to start them over again if I wanted to get them. And I really, I like the flexibility of not having your hair locked all the time. You can get your hair unlocked, but you'd have to pay someone to do it. And that's a big pain in the tail, So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and keep my hair like this for a while, and then just periodically, because at that point I can change it to do whatever I wanted, right? If I wanted to put locks in, if I wanted to take them out, if I wanted to put braids in, if I want to go straight. Some days I go straight, some days I'll put braids in, whatever. It gives me a little bit of flexibility, and I kind of like that. So some days I'll wear my hair out curly fro, just whatever I feel. And I think that with me, that's more important than having one set style all the time. Like I couldn't stand the sister locks when they first came out. Too much maintenance, and I never liked the micros. So for me, that was just another version of micros, and I just was like, nah, that's not me. But yeah, so you'll see me from time to time. Every now and again I'll put on my wig, or try different wigs out. I like to see different looks. Sometimes they look right on me, sometimes they don't. Back in the day I used to wear a lot of extensions, especially when I was younger, and that was cool. I used to do some modeling, so I used to, especially when I was working full time, have to do my hair in a hurry, so I'd go home and do my hair at night, go to work during the day, and sometimes on the weekend or at night, then I'll go to a shoot. So I wanted something simple, similar to the way that I'm wearing my hair now, but this is just my natural hair. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'm just checking in to see how things are going. These people are giving me the runaround, back to what I was saying, because one of the pharmacies, because North Carolina is straight cray, right? They are cray. And when I went back home to Virginia, we went to Virginia Beach, and I was we went back to the beach and everything, and I was in a hurry to get back so Jazz could go back to work, even though I knew she had just had COVID. It was just one of those things where she doesn't like to miss work. I don't mind a good work ethic, but I don't like people who are working for people who don't deserve it. I'll put it to you that way. And I told her not to put all her eggs in one basket because she's still young. And some of these people are just using, especially black women, because there's still a lot of racism here. And that type of racism you don't see very often. I'm trying to back up the backup camera and doing this at the same time. You don't see very often, so you have to have grown up with it to really recognize it. The way that I see it, it's everywhere, not just North Carolina, for obvious reasons. And there's different ways of recognizing it. For instance, I now have to wait an hour, by the way, because I have to wait an hour because they screwed my prescription up. So, like I was saying, I came home from Virginia, and we saw this sign on the pharmacy, which I've used since I've been here in North Carolina, and it said something like, closed until further notice. Please have all your prescriptions transferred to another pharmacy. And this is what, CVS, Walgreens type stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, what? When have you ever seen a pharmacy like that was a major brand closed like that all of a sudden? That's how crazy these people are around here. And so we were like, okay, well, good thing I don't need anything right now. So this has been about a week, and now we're like pulling up, and I went over there, and there's like a barrier, plastic barrier around the pharmacy itself, and then there's a black boarded up part of the window, like something black in front of the window boarding up the drive-thru. And I didn't even stop to ask anybody. I was just, I don't even care, because this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. You know what I mean? This is dumb. And they act like we're in Mayberry or something, like it's 1957, 57 or something. It's 2022, and apparently someone drove through. I found out when I called another pharmacy, someone drove through and hit the wall or something at the pharmacy, so they had to close. I'm like, whoa. So at least you could put a note up to say, sorry for the inconvenience, we'll reopen on such a date. But I saw no such sign. I did hear people back there talking, but I was kind of like, I ain't even gonna ask. That's how bad it is. You're just like, I don't even care. So I tried to transfer to another pharmacy over here by Target, and they were like, they didn't have it in stock. Of course, we'll have to order it to be a couple days. Comedy of errors, right? And so then I was like, can you transfer it somewhere else? He's like, well, you're gonna have to call them. It's a good thing I have a lot of patience. Trust me, I have a lot of patience. So they called them. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll lose my mind. You know it's never gonna be that easy. He told me to call them, and then they should be able to do it from their end. Long story short, came over here, stood in this pharmacy line for 30 minutes just to get a clerk. They never answered the phone. I was literally on the phone listening to the recording when the lady, asked me what I needed. So I said, I'd like my prescription transferred. And so she was like, okay, it'll be ready. I'm going to put it in for an hour, but we're going to try to get it to you a little faster than that. I lied to you not. I had to get out of the line. This is my third pharmacy today. Get out of the line, because I had pulled up to the second pharmacy because I figured, hey, no problem, I'll get it from there. They usually have it in stock. They didn't have it in stock. They sent me here. So I stood in line for half an hour to get to this lady, and then she told me another hour wait. So I had to get out of the line, come over here, and find something to do for the next hour. Shaking my head, right? SMH. It can't get no worse than that. I mean, it is a large amount of people here, but they act like it's Mayberry. It's just, the streets are wild. And I know I went home to VA. It was looking pretty, tense there. And when I say tense, I mean they're doing a lot of construction. And those of you guys who haven't been to the 7 cities, it's always busy. It's always a lot of people. It's a big area, and there's always something going on, but I don't remember it being that bad. So I'm not complaining about the streets necessarily, but it's just stupid stuff like, well, you need a traffic light, and you're too cheap with the city to put in a traffic light. And like when a new business comes, and a new business is going to need, it has to be up to date as far as the plumbing. It has to be up to date as far as the septic. It has to be up to date as far as, everything that needs to, occur when you have a new building of sorts. And it's a huge difference when that building opens, because you'll start seeing things like the road be paved, but it's just in front of the building that opened. It'll be literally like a black paved space just in front of the building, and the rest of the street would be raggedy. Because they had to be up to code, so they had to pave things and go underneath the concrete and do what they needed to do. So I'm just like, there comes a time in life when we need to have emotional maturity, and North Carolina does not have it. There's some parts, okay, that are better than others. There are. I don't think Raleigh's all that great. I lived in a couple different parts, and they're all right. Raleigh is more liberal than some other areas. Some more crime rate than the others, but a lot of them are country mishaps from the 80s. And they're very, very susceptible to racism and white supremacy. Very susceptible. I just... the last area I lived in was so bad. I mean, it was even crazier than this. Traffic everywhere. Every 5 minutes you see a traffic accident. I'm not talking about... I can't even explain it. Things that don't make sense. People going the wrong direction, getting smashed. I mean, you really are literally, you know what I'm saying, risking your life. Like, here comes a dude coming down the driveway for the pharmacy the wrong way. That's what I'm talking about. Just stupid stuff. Pulling in front of people, no signal. Crossing 3 or 4 lanes, no traffic lights, and people trying to cross 6 lanes of traffic. And that's an everyday occurrence. You come out of the grocery store, you got to sit there sometimes, depending on what grocery store it is, for 10 minutes trying to get out because you got to reel past, 4 lanes of traffic at least, just so you can get into a lane, because there's 3 lanes on this side, 3 lanes on that side, or 2 on this, 2 on that, and then a middle lane, and you're trying to get out past the middle lane, past these 2 lanes, so you can get onto your day or whatever you have to do. That's stupid. That's stupid, people. That's the average here. That's stupid. Transportation Secretary Buttigieg, whatever your name is. Yeah, no pun intended. I mean, come the heck on. And don't get that money straight to these people in any type of increments that don't make sense. Give them exactly what they need, because I think they have a problem with corruption. So I've heard, but it's all over North Carolina. It's all over country areas. They're getting there. There's a lot of people moving here to Texas and places like that. I don't know. You heard about my situation with the rent prices rising. I mean, it's only a few $100s. Yeah, I've seen New York or whatever say a couple thousand, but that to me is unfathomable in this type of economy. That's unconscionable. That's unethical in every single way for you to raise the rent that high. I mean, some people are just basically gouging, and they really need to have a law that says you cannot do that. Because I know a lot of people out here that'll take advantage of that, especially in New York and places like that. But anyway, life goes on, right? But what I was going to say is, when I say only a few $100s, it's because I'm always doing something, right? Like, I have a Beamer, but it's an SUV, but they have these campaigns where they wrap your car. Like, I have one on my car right now. And some people might say, well, you have no shame, that's tacky. But I always have something coming in from somewhere, because I always have to. If I don't, I always have to find a way, because even though you're educated, black women don't get the respect they need or that they deserve. You can't just walk up with the same resume as a white guy or a white woman, in this area especially, and especially not, it's unfortunate as a black man. There's a lot of discrimination on all different levels. And I really, honestly, am afraid to even remotely give up my resume sometimes, because I think that people are so jealous they steal your identity. And we have that a lot in Virginia and certain places where we know you can't give out any of your information. Because, somebody going to have your name somewhere on that stuff. I've had that happen since I've been here. I had to deal with somebody stealing my credit cards, and, I had to call somebody I talked to, sheriff's department or somebody. They ended up telling me somebody from VA that had done it, and this person was in jail, and they wanted to prosecute it or whatever, said he would take care of it. And I'm sitting up here like, I had to cancel my credit cards and stuff. It does happen. Happens in Virginia and happens here. I'm a big girl. That's not really concerning me. My concern right now is making sure the kids are healthy. They don't pass COVID to me. Because even though I have a pretty good immune system, you never know. you know, and just the door's getting over his, Jasmine got over hers, so we're good, hopefully. But I mean, looking at just the situation where you're too dang nice all the time. I was about to curse. Too dang nice. It gets on your damn nerves. You go somewhere, you go to the store in a good mood, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get something really quick. Like I just went to Aldi, and I'm going in here not thinking about anything. I didn't come dressed to go through all of this because I was just dropping my daughter off at work. Motorcycles going past, and so I said I'm just gonna drop her quickly at work. And so I did all this, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to pick up my prescription. This will be simple. I'll go there, here, there, home. Ended up 3 pharmacies later after dropping her off, and it's been two and a half hours sitting up here trying to get one thing done. And it's silly. Like I say, if I were able to be natural like I was before, but I think a lot of things in the environment, people were smoking. You know, my lungs just could not take it. I can't stand certain cigar smoke, right? We went way past Black and Miles, however you want to say it, many years ago. Some of these men are just rude. Sometimes they got females with them smoking that nasty mess, which smells like garbage. And then cigarette smoke, weed smoke, I can't. My lungs say, and I'm sitting up here, allergies, asthma, no way. Something just living in those apartments where I had to move, and even homes where I just could not breathe, and it was like I literally could not breathe. I'm not exaggerating at all. I don't know what it was. I don't know, maybe they found out some secret drug to drug women next door or something. It's some secret way of having it flow into your apartment. I don't know, but I can tell you that I could not literally breathe. I lost, and this is before COVID, lost my breath and all of it, and I just was like, forget it. So asthma developed later in life, and it's not because of lack of exercise. I get plenty of exercise, and it's not because of any other reason, but it is something that's prevalent in Black communities, for African American communities, because of situations where there's environmental racism, to develop asthma later in life. And that's something we need to talk about, and they develop it younger in life as well. I say I was gonna have my last child. I was thinking, you know, it'd be a perfect time if all this stuff wasn't going on, you know, TMI, too much information. But you know, I'm not a proponent of women necessarily having to be married in order to have a child. I'm not really waiting for Mr. Right, because Mr. Right wants to play games, so you know, whatever. So as we start to see, maturity begins with the person who's having the child, and with reality and how that person is treated. And they really mistreat Black women up and down the street. And I places like this give me such a bad vibe, and I can clearly see that there's discrimination and racism. But you know, like back in the day, you really couldn't prove it. But I mean, like when I went to Aldi, and the woman just didn't even speak, and then I just like, I didn't say anything. I was just like, whatever. You know, I'm not talking about a Black woman with internalized depression. I'm talking about a white woman, and she just was like, here's your receipt. Stuff like that, you know, subtle racisms where it's just like, thank you, goodbye. You know what I mean? Like in Raising the Sun, when she told that white guy she didn't want to be bothered with that crazy mess, like, thank you, goodbye. You can't keep saying thank you, goodbye everywhere you go. I mean, it's time for the stupid mess to end. They don't want it to end. Okay, sorry about that. So, you know, yeah, it's time to end it. And seriously, it's like the dumbest people. They do the dumbest things, and they collaborate with other races, like literally, like to impede African American women because of jealousy and insecurity. And I've already told you the situation with Black male insecurity. I'm not even going to go into that anymore. That's a shame. You know, maybe it's all part of the agenda, and we have to, whoops, we have to be patient. It's difficult for all of us sometimes, and it can be very frustrating. You know, honestly, I think I'm just too nice. And people perceive that as being naive or whatever. And I just, you know, I disagree. You can always find the goodness in someone even if you dislike them. It's just a matter of if you choose to tell them how you feel about the situation. And you can just, as we say, have a good day, where we come from, and keep going, keep it pushing. I mean, if you really tick me off, I might say something, but generally I'm just not that type, because you're just not worth it to me. You're just ignorant. So I don't know. I'm just trying to keep my cool, because that's all you can do. Keep my cool and keep it pushing. You know, people consistently try to stereotype you with stereotype threats. I mean, literally getting on the phone and texting people when they see you, and it's just like, I don't know who they're texting. I don't care. But it's just foolishness to me. It's foolish. It's like, it's not even grade school type intelligence level. It's really bad. Anyway, I don't have too much to talk about. Okay, you alright, man? Still getting over the nasty COVID. Not too much. And I wanted to go somewhere this summer. I really haven't been too many places normally, but see, I vacate like whenever. It doesn't matter to me. I was calling maybe the pharmacy or something, but I'm already here. It doesn't matter to me when the temperature is, you know, when the season is or what temperature it is. I'm just gonna go where I want to go when I want to go. I know a lot of people tried to jet out of here as soon as COVID was over, or they thought it was over, and they went out there and did their thing, and then everywhere was packed. You know what I mean? I don't want to be someone with 20 million freaking people, or they got spring break because they got a break finally from work or whatever. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that one. Out there with 20,000 individuals. You know, there was like one event I wanted to go to, like a concert, but I don't know. Honestly, don't know if I want to go yet. You know, it's a number of different things. It's a demographic. It's the money. It's very expensive, and it's the distance, which also is more than what I'm willing to do, because the way I see it, especially my age, I should be getting VIP. You know, and damn well most likely would if I asked for it, but I'm just not the type to ask for things like that. You know, so I'm not killing myself. You know, I just wait for my ticket in the mail. Thank you very much. You know, I don't care who I want to see. That person better want to see me just as much. I don't know too many people that might do that, especially not my age. So we'll see. I'm not willing to sacrifice that much. You know, I have to figure out the moving thing with one person. Jasmine does help, but half the time she's like, I don't know, Mom. You know, so I'm like, okay. Then I have to take care of this door, and I have, you know, a number of other things to do. So it's not like, you know, I want to have fun, I want to do things, but, you know, we did our gig last year. And it's so funny to me, because none of us had COVID last year. None of us were sick. We went everywhere. The Bahamas, Las Vegas, back home, you know, and none of us, not one person got sick. Now, I'm not discounting the Omicron BA.5 variant or anything like that. It's apparently highly contagious. But, I mean, I'm glad I did go, because if I didn't and had waited just like everybody else, and now I'd be ticked off. You know, it wasn't the best, but I mean, like I said, just to see those blue waters in the Caribbean, I probably would, you know, risk it again. It's not something I didn't think at all would be risky, and I was right, because none of us are sick, or none of us were sick. But you know, as soon as we came home and sat in the house, that's when we got sick, because everybody else was going everywhere else. Finally, and like I said, but they were packed up like sardines, right? And so then they went back to work. Like my daughter has a girl that works under her in her department. She got sick, her husband got sick, she got sick or something, and then Jasmine came home sick, you know, and somebody else at her job was sick. So then my son got sick, and you know what I mean? It's like, and we didn't go anywhere. So I don't know, I'm struggling. I hope I don't get it. It doesn't normally my throat, I have allergy asthma, and I didn't take my allergy medicine this morning, so it could be that, you know, fingers crossed it is. But you know, if it happens, it is what it is. I don't think so. I think I had an issue with my earbuds. You know, guys have a new phone, and they sent me some free earbuds with them, which was really cool. Really expensive earbuds, and they fell on the floor. I don't know how, because I keep them plugged up and really safe, and I had to wipe off the germs and everything out. When, you know, you stick anything in your ear, I don't know about you guys, ear, nose, throat infections and sinus infections are a killer for me with allergies. I mean, like killer, like antibiotic now. So that sounds more like what it is, but believe it or not, either way, it's pretty horrible. Of course, there's no death from ear, nose, throat infections or sinus infections, but it just feels like it. So maybe I'll take another COVID test, but because I took one with my daughter, and we were both at that time asymptomatic, and neither one of us tested positive. But then my son had specific symptoms, like he still can't taste, I don't think, and the coughing and stuff like that. I haven't had any of those. I have, however, had the typical ear, nose, throat, which I haven't had in gosh, forever. I have a otolaryngology appointment, and I keep putting it off because I've just been so busy. The one that did my what do you call it? Just forgot. It's not a rhinoplasty, but that goes in and actually opens up areas of your nose so that you can actually breathe. Yeah, and I just keep skipping my appointment, so I'm gonna try to get back to that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm good. But the thing was, we were fine up until everybody else decided they wanted to sit down here and do something stupid. Then we were screwed. Y'all scared in the house last year, and then it was time to leave. Oh, y'all ran out the same damn time and did everything under the sun. Well, we got our vaccination now. Brilliant. And did those vaccines work for you? Well, you didn't die. So I guess in one situation you could say they did, but did you get sick? Yeah. So that is saying something. You're not dead. But anyway, I gotta go. I'm just like, I don't know, just bummed. It bums you out. Racism just bums you. I had to move my car and my holder broke. Racism bums you out. You know, it's like you could be in a heck of a good mood and having a great day, and then somebody just ruins your day, like that Audi situation, and then you're just like, screw this. You know, as some people say, why be nice? But you gotta think to yourself, if you're letting someone else ruin your life because they're miserable, then you're letting them win. And it's so much better to see them be jealous of you, because you know they are, and show their envy because you know they're envious, and let them sit down there and simmer. It's so much better, because you're like, when you're happy, they can't stand it. If that's the only reason to be happy, then be it. You know what I mean? Don't let somebody sit down here and con you to think of that you're not as good as you are. Don't let somebody tell you that you don't deserve VIP when you know you do. And until you get what you deserve, then you're not going to do a damn thing. You know what I mean? Because if you don't set the standard, no one else will. You have to let people know. And I do not mean maybe. Life is too short, man. Life's too short. You know who you are. Don't let anybody in this world ever tell you that you're not who you are. You know. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit later. I gotta go. Bye.